Okay, guys, welcome back. My name is Michael McCarville, and in this episode, we're going to take a look at the Banta Modelworks kit for the Ophir Tram House. Now, there's a lot to cover in this, to be honest, because there's so much information that I'd like to give you, but let's focus on the kit build. But real quick, the tram house was basically the terminus of a bunch of tram towers so that ore buckets would travel up over the ground, transport into this building, and then they'd move the ore across down into a tube, and it would go down in and fill up the boxcars and gondolas. And you say boxcars, why boxcars? Well, security, but also it didn't freeze solid in the winter, so they wouldn't have to chip it out wherever they were going. So anyway, tons of information on this. If you're really into the Rio Grande Southern and this type of structure, then you can spend hours and hours, and I know because I have. So, um, so let's just start focusing on the kit itself. Now, you got to pick an era, and I didn't really want to model this structure in the early 50s where pieces of corrugated metal are literally falling off the structure. So big gaping holes. I chose a little bit earlier era, and even there's one photo near the doors, well, the openings, there's no doors, um, where there's a smoke jack that I saw. I was like, oh, I could add a smoke jack. So again, you kind of got to pick what area you're going to do. But if you want to do a later one, a touristy kind of, railroad, enthusiast guy out taking tons of photos. We have lots of photos from that era, not so much of the earlier era. Matter of fact, there's almost no data whatsoever on the inside of the structure. So if you decide you want to model the inside of the structure, go for it because nobody can prove you wrong. So, uh, I want to thank Bill Banta for allowing me to feature this kit on our video series, and I also want to thank the Friends of Cumbres and Toltec for allowing me to feature the historical photos so that we can kind of take a look at what this looked like on the prototype and kind of put it in a historical context because I think that's very important. Let's take a look at another photo real quick. Okay, so if you've ever seen a ski lift, been on a ski lift, etc., then you kind of know what the tram system looks like. It's really similar. There's two cables on this system. There are different systems. The upper cable is stationary, and that's where the wheels travel. And then the lower cable is actually what moves the ore buckets up and down the system. So they'd come down the hill, and this is actually the tram system looking out the door of the tram house on the east side. So it'd come down into the doorway, not really doors there, there's just a doorway, goes around a turnstile and then goes back up the mountain empty. And then they would haul the ore across the tram house, dump it down the tube, and like we talked about earlier. So that's what that looks like. So that was the east side of the structure. On the west side of the structure is where we load boxcars. So we've already gone over the main line and we've hit the end wall of the tram house, and now we put the ore that we've got and we dump it into that chute. It goes down, hits this little scoop that they can slide forward, and then it goes down the scoop and it goes right into the boxcar gondola. Boxcars have some wood bracing that goes up the doors so everything doesn't just fall right out. And then again, security and keeping it from freezing was the primary concern for that. Now, you can see some bracing at the very bottom of that where it goes over this little building and it looks like an outhouse. It's actually a two-stall outhouse. Now, that was a kit that is no longer in production, but again, you could always ask to see if so it was a Banta Modelworks kit, and I found one on eBay. You see them every once in a while, but if not, it's not a very big kit, so it would be easy to scratch build. But the bracing actually attaches to the roof of that, and then it goes around. It's basically a big box. It goes around that metal, that ore chute. So let's get into the kit building. Enough of history, and get me started. I'll go all day. We're going to go look at the parts overview. We're going to take a look at this step by step. We're going to break out the information about the little outhouse build and the how we did our corrugated metal, because I didn't need to include that on every single corrugated metal kit build that we do. So that's going to be a separate piece. So check that out. But we're going to do parts overview, step by step, and then take a look at the finished product when we're done. And then we'll wrap it up at the end. So let's get going. Okay, guys, that's a wrap. We are done, and a little bittersweet because I had so much fun building this kit, and I'm not sure why. The history aspect, the Rio Grande Southern, the fact that it sits over the main line, it's really cool, and it is basically nested in between a lot of other buildings in a very small area. So Once again, thanks to Bill Banta for allowing me to feature this kit in our video series, as well as the gentleman from Friends of Cumbers and Toltec for allowing me to use the historical photos once again. So if you are interested in any of that information, please check out the notes below. I'll include that, plus the links to the corrugated and the little outhouse kit. Those are both videos that you can go check out. So until next time, guys, stay safe out there, and I will see you on the next video. See you guys.